here in Eastern Kentucky, our church campus sits right between commercial real estate and residential real estate. So when you turn off of the highway onto our access road, you'll go past Hardee's, you'll go past Domino's, you'll go past this strip mall, you'll go past Tractor Supply, and then you'll come to a T in the road. And if you turn right, you come onto our parking lot and onto our campus. If you turn left, you go back into a neighborhood of about 170 houses that are back there. And when I started to kind of piece together where we sat and that we had this whole neighborhood behind us, I started to tag our church as your neighborhood church. And people started asking, like, what does that look like? What does that mean? What are you trying to get across and convey to people? And so our campus is 14 acres, and we have a large building and a large parking lot. We've got some green space. We have this great outdoor pavilion. We've got this playground equipment. And so we have really been open and inviting to our neighbors who live behind us. And so on any given day, you'll see people walking laps in our parking lot. You'll see runners early in the morning going across our parking lot. Kids learning to ride bicycles and hoverboards. That neighborhood back there is really kind of a golf cart community. And so you'll see a lot of people just cruising our parking lot across our yard in their golf carts, bring their dogs out here to walk, bring their kids and grandkids to play on the playground. I go out and I talk to people, I get to know them. And one of the things I always let them know is, hey, you're welcome, you're invited to use our property. You're always welcome and invited to be a part of our church on Sunday mornings. And I kind of let them know, like, hey, our asphalt is a quarter-mile lap for you walkers and runners. And if you extend and go onto the green space and do the whole perimeter, that's a half mile. And so those who are walking and running really appreciate that. We reach out to like our first responders, so our police and our sheriff and our ambulance drivers and people like that, and let them know, our building is a place that you can come if you just need a cup of coffee, if you need a quiet place in the desk to do some paperwork, if there's something going on and you need a safe place to hide. We do have first responders who sit under the shade of our pine trees to do their paperwork. We have county workers who will hit up one of the fast food restaurants at the end of the drive and then come sit in our pavilion and eat their lunch. We have neighbors who do the same. They'll go get some lunch and they'll come here to the pavilion, and especially during COVID, where restaurants are open for drive-through only. We'll see families bring their kids over, eat lunch in our pavilion, and then go play on the playground. There's a group of older retirees, and they get together like every 2 weeks, and they bring this whole spread of food and they sit under our pavilion, just spend the afternoon connecting with one another. There's another couple, they have dinner in our pavilion 2 or 3 nights a week. And so we really have extended that invitation to use our facilities and to use our property. And that's worked out really, really well with just kind of the general public. But I wanted to go beyond that and really start to connect and partner with different ministries and different groups because we do have such a large facility. And so during the summer and into the fall, we have an exercise group that just said, hey, can we use the corner of your parking lot to do some exercise? And when it's blazing hot because it's asphalt, they move to the pavilion, and it's just some people out there getting healthy. Here in Eastern Kentucky, there's an instrument. It's a stringed instrument. You set it on your lap and you strum it with a pick. It's called a dulcimer. And so we have a dulcimer group. And when the library shut down where they used to meet, because 2 of those dulcimer players attend our church, we opened up our building. And so every Monday, our building is filled with music from this dulcimer group as they practice and prepare for their performances. We have a local Right to Life organization here, and they also used to meet in the library. And again, when the library shut down, we opened our doors to them. And so once a month, that group is here meeting in our facility. There's a parachurch ministry they minister to poverty or even homeless women who are pregnant. It's a ministry called Godspeed, and they don't have a physical building yet, and so they use our building to for their planning and their monthly meeting and their get-togethers, and that works out really good. Morehead State University is here in our town, and so they have a couple of parachurch organizations there on campus, Crew and the Baptist Student Union. And sometimes those organizations need a bigger facility for training or for whatever they're doing. And so we've opened our doors to them where they can use some of our larger rooms for their training. They can use our gymnasium, they can use our kitchen, and that works out really, really well. We've hosted Gideon's banquets in our gym and in our kitchen before, and there's been other organizations that have needed a larger space for something, and we use that. Two of my most favorite things that have happened recently, I'm friends with our local police chief, and one of his lieutenants called me and said, "Hey, police chief asked me to call you. We need to do some training. Basically, it's our local SWAT team, and they need to do some training of breaching a building and then clearing it for active shooter scenarios." And I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. You can have full reign and access to our building." And so I let my staff know, and we just kind of stayed out of their way. And that morning, about 6 or 8 of our local police showed up in full commando gear and carrying their assault weapons and their tactical weapons. And I'm an outdoorsman and I'm a gun guy, and I knew that they were super safe and there were no rounds, and these were unloaded and they'd been checked and double checked, and they were going to go through their scenarios. And so that morning, they start to set up different scenarios, and they're sweeping the building and they're clearing rooms. And I'm in a meeting with my worship pastor, and a group of the SWAT members come down the hallway, and the room we're in, the door is open, and they breach the room and clear the room. And so we're just kind of innocent bystanders, but it was a weird feeling to have SWAT members come into your room, point barrels down and guns pointed at you, and hear them yell clear, and then continue on with their exercise. Later that afternoon, they changed up some things. I'm up in the sound booth in the sanctuary in our balcony, and I did not realize they had actually put some people in the building hiding, and now it was their job to go find them. They had brought in some other officers for the afternoon. These officers did not know who I was, and so as they came in the balcony, I'm there in the sound booth doing my job, working, and all of a sudden this officer turns on me and yells something, and the other officer says, "No, he's not in play." So I quickly retreated back to my office and stayed out of the way. But that was just a great opportunity for us to partner with our police department, to partner with our SWAT, for me to get to know some of our officers. And, it was just a great day, and a little bit of an adrenaline rush when a SWAT member, points his assault weapon at you in an exercise. But the other thing that's even more exciting than working with our police department, I have a friend. He's an older pastor at a really small congregation. He called me up and he said, "Hey, I have some people who want to be baptized, and we don't have a baptismal at our church. Is there any way we could use your baptismal?" And I was like, "Absolutely yes." And so I had the janitor come in and clean the baptismal, sweep it out, rub it all down, get it nice and clean, filled it full of water. I'm actually sitting on the steps of our baptismal for this video, and got it filled up to the level, got the heater going in it. And then that Saturday, I came and opened the building, and Pastor Thomas was here, the people from his church showed up, and what was really cool was the first person that came into the water was this elderly woman, and they baptized her, and I was like, man, that is so cool. And then this middle-aged man came down, and what I found out was this was a mother and a son who got baptized. And he even made the comment, I've been waiting until my mom was ready so we could get baptized together. And I thought, this right here is what I mean by your neighborhood church, that we are partnering with another church to meet the needs that they have, to meet the needs of believers, these two who want to follow Jesus in water baptism. And we were able to help make that happen. And so wherever your church is, whatever the location it is, whatever the size of the building, the property, the campus, whatever you have to offer, offer it. Make it available to other churches. Make it available to parachurches and ministries in your community, and make it available. I did a video on connecting with your community leaders, and make it available to your community leaders and to your neighborhood, and truly try to live out and be a neighborhood church for your community. And in doing so, do it in the name and in the love of Jesus, and point people to the cross. Hey, I hope this just inspires you and encourages you to take whatever you have and freely give it away, and that you will continue to do ministry with eyes wide open.